Good evening. This is Maryland Center, and welcome to Positively Plaistow. I'm sure you were expecting to see Flo roll out as advertised Flo's Menagerie. Flo is not feeling too well tonight, so she asked me to pinch hit for her. And seeing as I tend to be pretty much as much of a nut about menageries, animals and otherwise, naturally I was willing. We did go to the Stratum office of the SPCA of New Hampshire, and a little later in the program we'll be showing you some tape from that particular visit. Tonight we have 3 guests, and sort of varied. We have Vivian Swanson and her Confucian monkey Samson again. I think that sort of is a command performance. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved the show originally when Flo had Samson on. Our second guest will be Sherry Mitchell, who started out with fairly common so-called domestic short-hair cats and showing them. And tonight she's got a father and daughter team of Japanese bobtail cats. And our final guest tonight will be Peter Saunders, who is an investigator for the New Hampshire SPCA. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'm sorry we don't have the phones open tonight due to technical difficulties, but we will carry on. First, I'd like to introduce Vivian Swanson, who is the mother of Samson, and I use the term mother in all senses of the word pretty much, except biological. Hi, Vivian.
Hi,
welcome
Marilyn.
Welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
You're well used to the show.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have Samson
Yes, I do.
down there alongside of you in his carry-all.
Right.
How long has it been since you were on? About a year or a year and a half?
I think it was closer to a year and a half.
Okay, now
He was
at
just
that
a
time
baby
he
then.
was quite young.
Yeah, very, very active.
Oh, very, yeah, right.
He's still quite active, but his mellow times are more frequent now.
Oh, great, great.
And this particular monkey was chosen for this program that I'm involved in because they do calm down and they are content to sit and watch people out the window for hours, or just sit quietly and play with a toy.
Good.
Very mechanical.
Good. The reason I was asking, about what age in humans would he now correspond to?
Well, he's 4 years old. I guess I would equate him to probably, a teen, an adolescent. Mm-hmm. He's past the real baby stage and less active, like a toddler or a 5 or 7 year old would be. They live to be about half our age, so.
Yeah,
but their brain only develops to about the age of a 4-year-old,
right.
so that they can do simple tasks.
Now you said he is 4.
Yes, he's 4.
I was under the impression that the Helping Hands program, the
time that we had them,
usually is shorter.
That's what we thought when we first started. But
yeah, I thought you did.
We found through experience that if we wait till they're about 3.5 to 4 years old, they're much more ready to listen and pay attention. Their attention span is a lot better, and they're more comfortable leaving home, per se, because they're more secure and grown up.
Good.
And if we've done our job right, then they go willingly and very nice. It's like going off to college. Sending a kid off to college.
Right. Well, why don't you get him up here so the folks can admire him?
Okay, we'll let him out. I need a tail, Sam. Need a tail. Where's your tail? Good boy. Okay, come on.
There he is.
Okay, this is Sam.
That is Sam.
And he's going to be curious now to see what all of this stuff is.
Good evening, Samson.
Say hi. I'll let him go to you.
Samson. Sure.
Hope he doesn't grab your microphone.
That's okay.
He loves people, mostly women. Women are his favorites. Young children, doesn't matter what sex.
Right.
He's more cautious with adult men.
He weighs a lot more than he did the last time I held him.
Almost 5 pounds.
Oh, great.
He's actually relatively small for his age.
You talking to me?
Yes, he's talking to you. He's loving you.
Hand. Oh, what a good boy. Yes.
He's very friendly.
He is.
And I brought a few things to show you what we do.
Some of his skills.
Well, he really hasn't been taught a whole lot. His social
Oh,
skills are the
what's
most
that?
important thing. But,
He's being so lovely
He
right
can,
here now.
he can open a jar. Would you like to open the jar, or are you just going to love Marilyn, huh? Would you
I
like to
remember
open?
I remember the first time
No, he's not
he met
interested.
Flo. You
Climbed all over her hair.
Flo asked, if I remember correctly, Flo asked you, before we went on air, if you thought perhaps he'd come to her. And you said, well, you didn't think so. You thought he'd be too afraid. Well, you had barely got him out of his carrier when he landed on Flo's head. And
He likes Flo.
it went crazy. He went crazy. And it was really great.
Come up, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you. Good boy. Like you.
We have little sounds that we make. You're going to eat the plant?
Yeah.
Come here.
Well, there goes the prop palm tree.
No.
Whoops. Whoops.
Okay.
Expect anything tonight, folks.
He's very playful. Once he gets comfortable, he'll start jumping around. No.
What new has he?
No.
We got this one.
No. Oh, you got a flower.
What new trick, I mean, outside of learning how to dismantle potted plants?
Well, actually,
What
Helping
has he
Hands
learned?
doesn't want us to really teach them any training thing.
Right.
Because they have a special technique that they work up to slowly in Boston. But he has been taught social skills. You notice I asked him for his tail when he came out of the cage.
Yes.
Their tails are very strong. They're semi-prehensile.
Right.
And that's a handle for us to have control, so the monkey doesn't
Get that
bolt out of the
your mouth.
cage.
That's nasty. Get that out of your mouth, you crazy nut.
He'll spit it out.
Yeah, it's a bit
Would you like a
nasty.
treat? He knows, no, of course. He knows sit, he knows come.
He knows
All
no,
the
but
social
does he
skills.
obey no?
Not all the time.
Like a typical kid.
Tonight he's going to be active for a while.
Right.
Would you like a raisin? Let's get a raisin. Can you open this?
Now, does Samson bite?
Samson, yes. But monkeys bite. That's an inherent part of their personality.
Now, I understand
And
that
his-
for this program,
Yes.
they have their teeth removed.
Yes.
Okay.
That's another reason why they wait until about 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't want to put the monkey through the trauma of tooth removal
Oh, that's right. So you wait until the second teeth
So
are
wait
in?
until the second teeth are in, and they're out.
And it's sort of
And his are gone, and he's doing just fine.
Sort of like declawing a cat?
Yes. And about an hour after he had surgery, he woke up after the anesthesia, and he was eating monkey chow biscuits.
Beautiful.
Which is what their
Yeah.
food is that
Right,
we
yeah,
give them.
right, yeah.
I want a kiss. Can I get a kiss? Can I get a kiss? Monkeys generally don't like to be handled by the
Right.
belly
No.
and things. So this is one of the reasons why we treat them like children when we raise them.
right.
We bathe them every day when they're young. They're bottle fed. They wear diapers until they're old enough to understand to be trained potty. And that is one thing we are trying to train him to do.
Now, training him potty,
Yeah, it means going back to the cage.
oh, it means going back to the cage?
Going back to the cage. The
Okay, I
trained
was wondering
monkeys
if
will
it
go
was
back to the cage.
a litter box or whatever.
And it's a mesh, vinyl covered mesh
Oh,
cage
okay, yeah.
that the feces drops through
I see.
onto newspapers, and then that just is picked up every
Oh,
day. But they're relatively odorless. They're pretty clean animals. They're pretty animals.
They are. He is
And
gorgeous.
he's wild right now because he hasn't been out much today.
Does he get a
to
lot
play.
of oil and vitamins in his
Yes.
food?
Oh, yes.
Because the thing I'm noticing is that he is so shiny. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well,
He is so shiny.
yeah, he's healthy.
He is-
He gets a lot
he
of.
really is.
He
He's
gets his
so
Sun-Kissed
healthy.
Children's vitamin every day. That's
Right.
part of the program. Actually, a lot of people have been afraid that we're abusing these monkeys, but they are very happy monkeys.
Well, okay, on that
Nutritionally,
point, yeah.
medically, they're the best treated in the world.
Oh, I'm sure they
Yeah.
are.
What'd you
Because
say?
back when you and I first were talking about
Yeah.
the Helping Hands program, and I did the story on them, I did,
Look what I found.
I was definitely assured of that, but getting in regard to that, when we were speaking to Jody Markey, the executive director of the Stratham SVCA, she was saying that she wasn't too thrilled with the Helping Hands program. She understood that they used electric shock treatment to train them.
To train them, okay.
Yes. and-
I want to clarify that,
And
because
that's what we
that's
want
very
you to do,
important
right.
that people should know that. We do not use electric shock to train them. They are strictly positive reinforcement. If a monkey is asked to do a task and he doesn't perform the task, it's ignored and tried again. When the monkey completes the task properly, they're rewarded with a treat. Usually it's juice or raisins and an occasion little mini marshmallows, little tidbits. The only time they ever got shock, which was a mild jolt to the base of their tail, was after they were trained and when it was critical for the quadriplegic to make sure that that monkey's life was in danger and didn't get into whatever he was going into. That would be the only time they'd ever use it. And the funny thing about it was the monkeys were so well behaved, they never needed it. So the attendant never put the harness that was necessary on the monkey, so that the one time they might need it, they didn't have it anyway.
Didn't have it, right.
So we have developed a tone, a high tone, pitched tone beeper that can be installed permanently on the quadriplegic's wheelchair. And there's no harness, no nothing added to the monkey. And he gives a warning sound beep, and if the monkey doesn't stop the action, he can give this high-pitched squeal that we can hear, and they don't like, and they stop doing what they were doing. And this would only be for, like, if they were going to be in danger of getting into some pills or jump on a hot stove or something.
Or putting something metal into an outlet.
Right.
That general idea.
Anything that would be very dangerous for them.
Because I was wondering it, because when we were
But we no
talking
longer
with
use
Jody-
the shock pack.
Oh, beautiful.
And I subjected myself to the shock pack because I wanted to know, too.
Yeah, I would too.
Couldn't imagine hurting them.
Yeah, I would too.
And it's uncomfortable, it's certainly not abusive. But
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
it's moot at this point
Yeah.
because it's been changed.
Good.
And the
good.
tone alarm is working wonderfully.
Yes, you're beautiful.
Oh, he'll give you kisses. Yes.
Oh, you're just such a doll. Yes, you
This
are.
is
You're
most
beautiful.
of the monkeys.
You're
I have
beautiful.
water over here,
Whoops.
sweetie. I have water. You want a drink?
He wants my water too.
Here.
That's all right.
Here. You want a drink? Oh, he's going to hide. Here.
Yes, that's right. He was doing that the last
Yeah,
time.
he still
You
does
were here
that.
too.
He still does that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he knows the names of all his toys. He has stuffed toys to hug when he's a little nervous or frightened. Most of them have little blankies. And their favorite toys and blankets come into training with them and stay with the monkey for their life.
Really?
Yes. They don't get taken away. They don't get thrown into a... They don't get incarcerated like people were
Very
thinking.
good.
You know, my baby...
Oops, okay, come on. You can come.
My baby is incarcerated. They are well-loved and well-fed
Yeah.
and...
Oh, if Samson is
It's
any
absolutely
example,
fantastic.
and I'm sure he is,
Yeah.
of the Helping Hands program, knowing you, Vivian, I've seen how,
Well, I love animals, and I wouldn't do anything to hurt them. And
in fact, I've been told that you take better care of Samson than you do of your husband, Don.
Uh-oh. Did he tell you that?
Yes, at one point he did.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble, Sam. Daddy squealed. Daddy squealed.
But he is good.
He is a love. He's real pretty. And he has the best medical care in the world.
Now,
and
when
best
do you
nutritional care.
when do you expect him to be
Morning.
going for his training? He goes to Yale?
No,
No,
Boston
Boston
University.
U.
Yeah, we're affiliated with Boston University. And right now, we're having funding problems.
Oh,
The VA was funding us as a research project,
Right.
and then they evaluated it and said, gee, how wonderful, it's a success,
so
but we
no
don't,
more money.
we can't give you any more research
Yeah,
money. Now you
right.
have to go through channels and get funding
Oh,
again.
wonderful.
And then with all of the recession
Wow.
and the Arabian crisis,
Yeah.
the bill just isn't getting passed. So
Yeah,
we're
right.
depending on, private donors or grants from schools
yeah.
or whatever.
Great.
See, now, if he had teeth and he was
Yeah,
biting
you'd-
me now, I
yeah.
would have been torn up.
Yeah, right, yeah, I can see
And
that.
he happens to be what they call a biter.
Oh, okay.
you know.
There are biters and there are non-biters.
Yes, there are some that would never think of it,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
But, but he's generally a friendly monkey.
Great.
if I can calm him down.
I think we have an address that you can send to in Boston.
Yes, if anybody wants information on being a foster parent, it is a big commitment. It's 4 years, and you do bring them up like a baby, that you can't be leaving them like a dog or a cat.
Right. Yeah.
With a bowl of water and food. You
No.
really, they cling to you for most of their first year of life. And he calmed down now.
He sure has, he's beautiful.
So if anybody
What's
loves
his
animals...
temperature? About the same as ours?
Normal, no, a little bit higher. It's
Little
about
bit higher?
101.
Because he feels like he'd make a dandy heating pad for the winter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he does. He snuggles up
Yeah.
to my chest when I
Well, I
lay
can
back and watch
imagine.
TV at night.
I can
And when he
imagine.
leaves, it's cold.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
I
and he
bet
loves
it
to
is.
snuggle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
And the tail, the nose under the tail.
yeah.
That's great.
Yep, he cuddles up sometimes on a toy, sometimes he wraps a blanket around him if it's a little chilly.
Well, during the program and at the end of the show, we will definitely show the address of
Okay.
where
That would be
people can
wonderful.
send donations to the Helping Hands program, and
Or,
if
yeah,
they want to inquire
they inquire
about
about being
becoming
a foster parent.
a foster parent.
Yeah, we would
And
love to have them.
you've had another one too.
Oh, I've
in
had
the
several,
meantime.
yeah, I've had several monkeys in and out of
And
my
that you have
house.
placed in
Well,
foster
I'm
homes.
now the foster family advisor for the
Oh,
program.
great, super.
So we have about 135 baby monkeys out there
Oh, wow, great.
with foster parents all over the country.
Beautiful.
And
Super.
I kind of oversee their behavioral problems. If they have a problem they don't know how to handle, they call me, cry on my shoulder.
You're the pro now.
I'm the, yeah,
Yeah. And just
I'm the
a
helper.
Short 4 years ago, you were the novice.
That's right.
Isn't that wonderful?
And I've
That's
learned
great.
a lot.
That's great, Vivian.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for bringing Samson again.
Well, thank you for
and
asking
hopefully
us
be
again.
here before he goes to his permanent home
Mm-hmm.
with the quadriplegic, that we can have him back again.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And will you?
Maybe we could bring him back when he gets
Yeah.
trained.
I was thinking that. Would you have any further contact with Samson after he
Mhm.
goes to his permanent home?
I can.
You can?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
great,
was going to
super.
try, she said she
Mhm.
promised
Yeah.
she'd try and place him with a quadriplegic in this area.
Oh, wonderful.
So that we
Wouldn't
could
that be
visit.
wonderful?
Mhm. But
Yeah,
first
because
they
it must
have
be
to go through the
traumatic.
training.
Must
Oh,
be
sure it is.
traumatic for the monkey as well as the family.
Yeah. Oh, it's
You know,
more
the
so for the
separation.
family.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no
Yeah.
doubt you're going to
No,
ball.
he's used to going into
Yeah,
Boston,
yeah.
because I go into work
Yeah,
twice a
right,
week.
yeah,
And he goes into the lab, and it's like, okay, Mom, which
Right.
cage am I going in today with who?
Yeah,
You
oh,
know,
yeah. So he's
and he
getting
goes in and he
a little
plays with-
blasé about that.
Well, and he
plays
knows
with his
the-
friends.
knows the place around, all around, yeah.
Super.
And he plays with another monkey in there.
Beautiful. Well, good.
Okay?
I will count on that.
You want to go bye-bye, Sam?
Want to go bye-bye?
Would you like to go bye-bye? Come on, come.
Well, thanks a million, Vivian.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And that's another look at Samson. Oh, I'm sure you will agree he's pretty darn cute. He's got my heart all right. And those little fuzzy hands.
Okay.
We're going to run a tape of our visit to the Stratum office of the New Hampshire SPCA. And after the tape, we will bring you Sherry Mitchell and her father-daughter team of Japanese bobtail cats. Thanks, Viv. Welcome back. I am not awfully sure I really wanted Samson to leave. I was very comfortable here. My next guest, as I said before, is Sherry Mitchell, who has been showing cats for several years and now has had a successful breeding of a Japanese bobtail cat. And I'd like to welcome you, Sherry, to Positively Plaistow.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. It's nice to be here.
Great, great. Beck, how long ago did you first start showing cats?
I believe 1987 was our first show
Yeah.
here in New Hampshire.
Really? And that was with
was
domestic long hairs or short
Domestic
hairs?
short hairs, household pets. commonly known. We started out with those, and we adopted a very successful household pet. As you might remember, you met
I
her
do.
once.
I sure did.
Savoir Faire.
Right, I
from the
remember Savoir Faire, right.
The MSPCA in Methuen. And
right.
she went on to be a national champion 2
Yeah,
years in a row.
beautiful.
And we got to see a lot of breeds of cats and really got into the cat fancy. And we had a lot of fun with that because with the household pets, we got to talk about spaying and neutering to the public
Right.
and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's very
that's for sure.
important and near and dear to my heart. So.
Yes, because both you and Peter Saunders are very much proponents of neutering,
Yes,
which I think is,
absolutely.
to me, it's part of responsible
Absolutely. And
pet ownership, if you want to call it that.
your introduction to my bobtails, the father and daughter team, Dad's now a neuter. That's how active I am in spay and neutering. I neutered him
good.
after he did
Oh,
a few
great.
breedings. So.
Good, super. Now, how old, now your father is
Ninja.
Ninja. Okay, I should remember
Kodo
that.
Ninja.
My grandson is into Ninja Turtles. I should remember
That's
that.
how he's known on the show circuit, as the Ninja
Oh, he
Turtle.
does? He
That's how
is,
he's-
okay. How old is Ninja?
Ninja is 18 months old.
Oh, okay.
He's a young male, very young male.
How did you get into the Japanese bobcats?
Well, I was at a show.
Bobtails.
Showing bobtails, yeah. Showing my household pet at a show, and had no desire in purebred cats whatsoever. They did
Yeah,
nothing for me.
yeah.
And I happened to look across at the cage opposite me, and there was the most beautiful cat I'd ever seen. Very
Okay.
high on its back legs, very elegant, and I thought it was a household pet. And,
Really?
Then I looked on the cage and it said, "I am a Japanese bobtail,"
Mm-hmm.
and I said to my sister, "Wow, that's..." all weekend I
Yeah,
watched that cat, and I
yeah.
said, "Someday I'm going to own one."
Great.
And
Do you still have the domestics?
oh,
Shaggies?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you-
yeah. I
you
have
still
the same ones.
You still got Savvy?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. She's retired from showing now,
Yeah.
and she's the quality inspector for my cat furniture company.
Oh,
We
great.
make cat furniture,
Yes,
so
I know you
she's
do, right.
the quality inspector, and she checks
Oh,
all the
great.
design and everything.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
They can be very discerning. Well, why don't we get Ninja and Kai? Key. I knew I was going to foul that up. I don't know why, but I knew I was going to. Oh, I got monkey hair, and I might as well get cat hairs too.
This one.
And this is
Stand-
Ninja.
This is Ninja. And
Oh, Ninja
It's-
is just beautiful. Now, when you first got here, Ninja had a collar on, and you said he has got an infection in his
well, it's
eye?
not an infection. What
No?
happened was he got scratched in the eye, and what happened, like in humans, when you get an eye injury, he developed a corneal ulcer.
Oh, okay.
And he went to the ophthalmologist down at Tufts University, School of
Very good.
Veterinary Medicine, and they're treating him for that, and we go back on Friday, and hopefully it'll be all healed. And in a few months, he'll be back out on the show circuit.
How did he get scratched?
Right after he was neutered, he decided that he was going to try to breed a female. And
Oh.
part of the mating act, the female turns around when they're done and
Yeah,
whacks in the
uh-huh.
face, and
And that's how
he got it.
Got it, huh?
But
Poor
he's
Ninja.
He's a love. This is their
They'll get you
personality.
in trouble all the time, won't it?
Basically, they're just
Oh,
very laid back.
He's loose.
And
Is that the word for it?
Yeah.
He's loose.
He's
and
purring away.
nonchalant.
But I wanted to show him because this will give you an idea about the breed itself. It's a very unique breed.
Lanky, and
Long-
as you say, sleek.
Long, lean, and elegant is what's called for in our standard.
Hi there.
And
Yes,
he's
you're
not being, it might be easier to handle the female. He's getting heavy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can see.
what they're noted for is their little pom-pom tail.
That's beautiful.
And this is not docked. This is a natural mutation. This breed's been around since the 7th century in Japan, maybe before that.
Oh,
And Japanese bobtail to Japanese bobtail always produces these pom-pom-tailed
that's great.
kittens.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
every
It
one
is
of them
beautiful.
have little kinks.
Yep.
And they can compensate for not having a tail by the back
Oh
legs.
my. Now we're happy.
Nothing phases him. He is just a slob. But they also, I'll take the female out, you'll be able to see
You don't
the
have
head
him
type.
have your cats declawed.
Absolutely not. I am adamant
Okay, why?
against that. It's unnatural. There's no need to declaw a cat. People say, oh, they claw my furniture. My cats do not claw my furniture. They've been trained not to.
Right. But you do have them
I clip them.
clipped.
Yeah,
to-
and it doesn't take much.
No.
They have special clippers that you can get in
Right.
any pet store. You can use fingernail clippers. It takes
Right, yeah.
5 minutes.
Right, yeah.
And it's healthier and it's more natural for the cat.
Yeah, because in the outdoors, the friction of gravel
gravel.
or whatever would wear them down.
But they
Yeah.
they
Oh, he is
generally can be
beautiful.
taught not to scratch furniture.
He is a
and-
gorgeous animal. And his hair is so soft. It's
That's
lovely.
another thing that's called for in this standard is a sleek
It
satiny
is
coat.
so lovely and soft.
Yeah, this is not, this is, like I said, a very old breed, but it's relatively new in the United States.
Because I had seen what they call bobtail cats, Manx,
Okay,
and they tend to be really blocky.
they're very cobby. Genetically, totally different cat
Yeah.
from a different part of the world. No comparison whatsoever. Like you said, they're a cobby cat. They have short legs. They're a heavier bone cat. Where this is a
But it's
it's
so
very sleek.
yeah, that's the word, so sleek, almost fragile looking.
Wonderful.
He seems to have a fantastic personality.
He does. He is
He's-
wonderful. And the blacks are extremely rare. This breed of
really?
cat comes in any color that your domestic cats come in, except
really?
for show.
Whoops.
They can't be the ticked pattern like an Abyssinian
Oh, yeah,
or the pointed like a Siamese with the pointed ears. But the blacks are extremely rare.
Because I can't even see one white hair on that baby.
No, they were only 3 born last year, and that was his litter. He was from a litter of 3.
Oh,
and so
really?
far this year, with only 2 months to go, there's only been 4
careful,
produced. And 2 of them are produced by him.
Really?
Out of actually, I think there's only been 3 produced this year.
Really? Great.
So,
How many are there in the United States? you
well,
know?
believe it or not, this is the fastest growing breed right now in
Really?
cat
No
fanciers.
kidding.
We're nowhere very popular breed.
He is so loose. My gosh, you are a loose baby.
This is a bobtail personality.
So very relaxed and.
They love to play.
I mean, if he was an orange
Whoop.
tiger cat, you'd think he was a Garfield
Come on,
because
Ninja.
of the way he's relaxed.
Ninja, come on, come on.
I love the tools of the trade.
It's a very smart breed of cat. They know their name. They come when they call. He's like a little puppy. He retrieves. He plays with little toys. You throw
Right.
them and he'll bring them back
That's
to
marvelous. Okay, let's see Dora. She is, wait till you see her, she is a doll. Is she still in there, or is she
you. Yeah, I
got out to investigate?
Come on, Key.
Key, come on.
I'll
Come on,
hand her to
Key. Oh,
you.
what
'cause
will
she
we,
won't-
sound
and I'll
asleep?
put him away.
Oh, yes.
This is
Yes.
out of our first litter of breeding.
Oh,
Whoop.
she is just a love. How old is Key?
She's 7 months old. She's almost 7 months old.
Really? And how many siblings did she have out of the
There were
breed?
4 in the litter, and they were referred to as our bookend litter. They all were almost identical.
Wow.
When they were born, we had a hard time. I had no problem sexing them and telling which was male and female, but they all had the inverted V on the face.
Oh, yes.
And
She is just beautiful.
we had to go with,
Oh,
just
she's
finding a
gorgeous.
distinguished point on the pattern. That,
Did you keep all of them?
no, I've sold 3 of them.
Oh, really?
And this
But you're
was my
going to
pick
keep
kitten.
Key.
Yep, this is my pick
Are you
kitten.
going to breed her?
I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure. There's a lot of work in breeding.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It's not something that can be taken lightly.
I would think the paperwork must be horrendous.
It's
too.
the paperwork. It's nerve-wracking. It's not. You just don't put 2 cats together. It's finding the right parents and
yeah.
the right cat.
Oh, come
to
on.
breed with.
Here you go. Go see Mama.
Okay, this week you can see a little bit of what a Japanese bobtail head is all about. It's an equilateral triangle. It's called a modified wedge. And as you can see, the high cheekbones and the eyes at a pronounced slant, giving it that oriental look.
Sure does.
And
But she's so obviously feminine, whereas
yeah,
Ninja is obviously a male.
And
she is very gentle and, ooh, she's supple.
yeah, she's long,
Wow.
lean, elegant body, and she
And
has
that's
that
what you
satin
do
color.
when you show them.
This is how she'd be handled by a judge. And they go over and they check for the tail. And I bet you notice when you feel this tail compared to Ninja's. Give it a
Oh,
good
yeah.
feel.
Yeah, it does. It
Every-
definitely has the kink.
What's fun about breeding this breed of cat to someone that knows what they're doing is genetically you'll always know basically what colors you're going to get. But every
Heaven's
breeding is like Christmas. because pattern and every tail is different. No
Oh,
two tails
okay,
are alike. They're like a
thanks.
thumbprint.
Oh, for
So you
crying out
never
loud.
know what you're going to get with the tail.
Huh.
And
She
it's
certainly is
fun.
happy. She's treading like crazy on your knee.
Yeah, they have. This is their personality.
Oh, she's
She
beautiful.
has not been out of my house many times. She's been to 3 cat shows. That's
Okay,
it.
how's she done?
Very well. I'm pleased for my first
Great.
breeding. She's not going, as we call, across the board, but winning everything. But
Uh-huh.
she's
Great.
doing very well for a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is adorable. You
Yeah.
say she's 7 months old?
She's 7 months old, and she has
she's
one
so
more month.
delicate and dainty.
Yes, she's very feminine. This is
Yeah.
what the breed is all about. You want your females.
Now, is
to
that
look
the
feminine.
normal size of your Is she? Would you call her adult size?
She-
Almost.
She's almost adult size.
Mm-hmm.
My husband just was saying the other night, she's almost as big as her mother.
Really? Yeah.
But her dad is a big boy. I think she's going to be a little bigger than her mother,
Mm.
but not too much. Female bobtails go between 5 and 7 pounds,
Oh, okay.
and males are generally 7 to 9 pounds, where
Oh,
he's
yeah.
9 3/4 pounds.
Oh boy, he's about at the outside
And
edge.
he's very long, and
right.
he's very high on his legs.
Yeah,
so
he sure
hopefully
is.
she won't get too big where she.
Yeah, she is beautiful.
But it's a nice breed, and it's
Yeah, she is a beauty.
yeah. And we have some very exciting news that my other litter of kittens out of Ninja, one of our kittens is going to Europe. Has been sold
Wow.
to Europe.
Oh, super.
It's going to
Great.
be leaving next week for Finland to go over and be a show cat in Europe.
Wow.
And it's been purchased by a European judge, cat judge.
Oh, really? No
Who had seen a
kidding.
picture of Ninja
Wow.
in a magazine and wrote to me saying how beautiful she thought he was. And
Great.
recently she contacted me through another breeder asking if she could have a Ninja kitten.
Oh, I
so
love it. Yeah.
we're pretty excited.
What does Key's mother look like?
Key's mother is what we call a black and white odd-eyed van.
Oh,
Which
wow,
means
okay, yeah.
she's she is a solid white cat. She has 2 black ears, like Mickey Mouse ears. They're
Oh,
black,
dear.
and a black tail.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
And but she's totally white, just the
Wow.
ears and the tail.
Wow.
And she has odd eyes, meaning she has 1 blue eye and 1 green eye.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Unfortunately, none of the kittens in her litter produced odd eye.
Okay, what do you mean, unfortunately?
Well, they're very. There's 2 things with the Japanese bobtails. See, they're considered very good luck in Japan,
Okay.
and odd eyes and blue eyes have a special meaning,
Oh,
and especially
great.
especially revered by breeders and people who relish in this breed as something very special. But sooner or later, we'll get ourselves an odd eye.
I'm sure, especially if the mother is an odd eye.
Yeah, hopefully, but she was bred to a dominant green eye, so see, that's one
yeah.
of the things with breeding that I'm learning
But
is
as-
genetics. There's a lot to learn.
You just told me that our friend Ninja is no longer in the breeding business.
No.
So who are you going to use? Have you got your eye on a
I
on a
have,
male?
out of the breeding that the cat that's going to Finland is out of, we have a red and white boy named Jitsu that we're keeping an eye on. He may be a neuter. We
Okay.
just may neuter him. And there's some very beautiful, the top breeder in the country. Fortunately, doesn't live far away. She lives in southern New Jersey.
Oh, great, yeah.
So I have access to her breeding stock, and
Great.
as a matter of fact, my husband doesn't even know this yet. I got a phone call from her this morning telling me that she had a new male kitten for me.
Oh, boy.
So,
Great.
I
Now, you
don't-
said red.
What we would I always thought of, you always thought of as your orange cats.
Yeah. Oh, they called it. Okay.
It's in the cat fancy they call it red.
Okay, does it come in tiger color, patterning?
Yeah, it can.
Oh, okay.
These can come in. Well, first, the most popular is what they call the Mickey, which is your calico.
Oh, okay.
Your,
Sure.
white with blood
Tricolor.
islands of color. They come in black and white, red and white, solids, tabbies, any color, any pattern combination.
Great.
And now they've even found that because they're street cat origins, they're coming up in the line with long-haired Japanese bobtails.
Oh, really?
Which is
Oh, they must be handsome.
they're very rare. They're not a real long coat like a Persian would be. Sort of maybe more like a Turkish Angora type of cat. But they're really cute. But they come in any color and any pattern. Someone
Beautiful.
that likes
Super.
black and white, I'm a big fan of blacks and black and whites. you'll find what you're looking for.
Don't worry.
Brown tabbies, solid brown tabbies. Okay.
You are gorgeous. Well, I want to
She's-
thank you, Sherry,
well,
for
thank you very much for
bringing your
having
babies
us.
around and
We've
coming in and
enjoyed
getting
it.
another fur skirt. I'm going to have
Yeah.
a very interesting collection to take home to my two cats.
Believe it or not,
a monkey and a cat.
This is a relatively non-shedding breed. They're a single-coated cat. I guess it must
yeah,
be the
but we
nerves
have
and
the
the
lights. The lights here are
Yeah.
on. If I were furred, I'm sure I would be sitting here shedding too. But I want to thank you for coming in, and I will
Thank
be.
you.
Hopefully, you will keep me apprised of Key's progress and what any other siblings or half siblings now that she has.
Yeah, we're
Would be great,
hoping.
or children she has.
Yeah, that's, we're looking for it. I think we may breed her.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait
How
and
old?
see.
How old would
I
she have to
generally
be before you breed?
like to wait until they're at least a year, preferably 14 months old, really
yeah.
matured.
Sort of into the third heat, third or fourth heat.
Yeah, except I'm lucky my cats don't come into heat that often.
Oh, good.
So.
Super. Great. Well, thanks a million, Cherry. I appreciate it.
Okay.
We'll see you, Key. Hopefully, I'll be reading something about you.
Okay,
Thanks
thank you.
again. And we're going to take another look at that film clip that Flo and I shot up at the SPCA while we allow for Sherry and Key and Ninja to get out of here safely and get Pete Saunders in. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Here we are again. And we've given Pete Saunders a chance to get into the studio after we watched a little bit of the footage we shot at the SPCA. Pete, I want to welcome you to Positively Plaistow.
Thank you.
We've
Glad to
known
be
each
here.
other for
It's been-
quite a while.
Yeah, off and on.
Quite a
That's
while,
yeah.
right. Now, what is your job with the SPCA?
Well, I have a multifaceted job. I do a lot of, I'm kind of the, not handyman, so to speak. My title is agent, and classically the position employs doing investigations. Yet that's not all of what I do. A lot of the work that we do involves helping animals in many different ways, through the legislature, through community programs, and individual cases, working with police departments, health officers, town and county officials, with the Department of Agriculture. Could be anybody, anything, anytime. And obviously we have a facility that we maintain in Stratham.
It's marvelous.
And we are working at it.
I like it.
It looks good.
I think it looks great.
It's going to be better as the years go on.
Right, yeah.
And part of that is working what we call the desk, or the adoption area, the placement room, and adopting animals into new homes and accepting animals in from the public. And that's a hectic, very busy time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And we enjoy it a lot. And it's ups and it's got its downs,
Yeah.
very definitely.
One thing I wanted to get into that Jody brought up during our visit to the Stratham office is how badly, sadly, the economy is affecting families who have pets.
We've seen it, and there seems to be a trickle-down effect as to what happens in the economy and with animals. Not just feeding animals, but providing proper care for animals, and just having the number of animals that it may take to maintain the household. And we have seen some progress in some areas, particularly with the numbers of dogs that have come into the facility, or I should say the numbers of animals that, dogs that haven't been arriving at the facility, as
Oh,
to
good.
the numbers previously, and the litters of puppies. So there seems to be some progress there, but we're losing ground with respect to cats. We see a
Really?
lot of cats coming in, and we
Okay.
see a lot of families that are giving up their animals because, for one reason or another, they just can't afford to care for them. Sometimes it just simply boils down to just not having the food for them. But it's, we're running into obviously the regular problems. We've had people moving, have allergies, and
Yeah.
giving up animals because of that. So,
I think I have a monkey hair in my mouth. That's a great thing to have.
but we don't have. I didn't bring a pet with me today. So
Well, we almost asked you to bring Brutus. Brutus is his name? No, try again.
Rufus.
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 I knew there was an S on the end.
Yeah. Well, Rufus isn't around right now. He's out on a vacation.
Oh,
So Rufus is one of the mascots that we
Yeah.
have. So
Rufus
he's
is
a
a
character.
huge, humongous Belgian.
He's a mastiff.
Mastiff? Is that what?
English Mastiff.
Jody? English Mastiff. He is huge. In fact, when we were visiting with Jody in her office at the Salem office, he took up lots of room, and you really had to do some fancy stepping to step over him. I'm almost as bad as Flo, by the way. We noticed there weren't too awful many dogs there, and some of them looked like they might have been pure-blooded.
Well, 1/5 of the animals that come to us are purebred.
Really?
And it varies. The population levels at the shelter vary really from day to day and hour to hour.
kidding.
And people might come in on week 1 or week
Oh.
A, for instance, and see the place full. And they may say, oh,
Yeah,
what a
yeah,
terrible
right, yeah.
overpopulation program. Those might be adopted, and without coming in, then the populations would vary.
Oh, yeah.
And we have gotten down to a point where we had not adopted all the animals at the shelter, but we got pretty close to it.
wow.
And then the trend went the other way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it seems to fluctuate in about a 5-day cycle
Yeah. Oh, really?
type of thing.
When we were there was a fantastically beautiful shepherd that we had been told that his, I guess it was a male, elderly owner no longer could get around and couldn't take care of him. So he'd been given up, and there was a young couple who had come in while we were there who were out walking him.
Yeah, they were
Did they-
contemplating dying.
Did they? Do you
I
know?
think they did.
I'm curious.
I'm
I know
not-
Flo and I have wondered.
I didn't follow that individual case,
hoping.
but that particular situation typifies a lot of the problems that we see with people as relates to animals.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of things that we see obviously are cruelty to animals and
Yeah.
crimes towards animals.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other problems that we see are people not providing proper care for animals, like with proper training.
Right, yeah.
And this was a dog that had very little training at 2 years of age.
Yeah, it was
And it
pretty
couldn't really
rambunctious.
walk on a leash very well, it couldn't sit very well,
Right.
and the owner really couldn't manage the dog.
Right. I think he was
And
arthritic, according to what Jody said. I
that
think. Yeah.
might
an
have been,
elderly man.
I couldn't have followed that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
case,
yeah.
but, and so we really encourage people when they're adopting animals to not just think of themselves and, with the animal, as
yeah.
a single entity, but think of the animal as a special
Right.
type of member of the
As a
family
member of the
to
family,
provide
sure.
training
Right, yeah,
for.
right,
And it's
yeah.
like 15 minutes twice a day, but we
Right.
see a lot of animals. I would say half of the animals that come, half of the dogs that come to the facility have had very little or no training.
Really?
They can't
Wow.
sit, stay, walk on a leash comfortably, and
Right.
so we see a relative amount of pet irresponsibility.
I'm sure. Yesterday, I think it was on the hard copy show, I think. Yeah, hard copy. They did a story, a segment on stealing household pets, putting them into a mill and selling them to laboratories. What happens to animals that you take in that can't be placed?
Well,
that aren't placed?
regrettably, first off, let me say that we are very open and square with the public as far as the problems of animal overpopulation are concerned. Nationally, the figures are down, but we take in, across the country, between 15 and 20 million animals that are not placed.
Wow.
And animals that are not placed are euthanized. That's a fancy word for putting them down
sure.
or killing them.
Right.
This is the last thing that we want to do with animals that are entrusted to us,
Right.
but is one of the most important internal things that we can do to be sure that that is as gentle and painless and
Okay.
as comfortable and technically correct a procedure as
Yeah.
as we have.
It's a lousy thing to talk about, but a program, a segment like that, I think, focuses the public's attention on something that personally I think is lousy.
Yeah, it is lousy. And it's lousy for us in the business that have to do
It'd
it.
be awful.
But we appreciate the opportunity in being able to not just help the animals to new homes, but to work on other projects as well that is going to make it better next century
Yeah, right,
and
yeah.
in the mid, from now on out.
Do we have any cases like that was on that segment? Do we
Well,
have
in New Hampshire,
private pets being stolen?
well,
and-
we have a lot of animals that wind up missing or lost. And we don't have what they call pound seizure in New Hampshire. In fact,
Okay, what's pound seizure?
pound seizure is not a very good program, we believe, where animal shelters and pounds in other states must surrender their animals to laboratories at the end of a certain time. We don't have that in New Hampshire. Unfortunately, our legislature in New Hampshire was 10 years ahead of the game in making that illegal.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of discussion and debate about laboratory animals.
Right.
And that's maybe not for this program,
No,
but
no, that's true.
we feel that it's not the place of the humane societies that are entrusted with people's animals as
Your
a
very name, humane.
well, yes, to relinquish those animals
Right, yeah.
for research. We wouldn't do that, and it's
Yeah.
not done in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
As far as animals that are lost that wind up in laboratories, statistically it's very difficult to know, but there are there's many indications across the country that this does happen.
Just as a quick finish up to that particular subject matter, would tattooing help?
Tattooing would help, yet we have something that is brand new that we're doing that is even better in some respects. It's called the InfoPet system. And tonight we can announce the InfoPet system.
Yes, please.
What it is, it's a 22nd century technology.
Whoa.
It is well, we're tooting our horn a bit, but it is a microchip that is implanted in the base of the, right underneath the skin. Very harmless. It's just like getting a shot. And it's a small microchip that is implanted by a veterinarian. It costs about $12 to do that. And to register it with InfoPet, this company, costs about $25 for the animal's life. And what happens is that if an animal is lost, it comes into the shelter and we can scan it. I should have brought it tonight. It's a paddle, and we
wonderful.
scan it across, and it reads up a number, 4-digit number. And that 4-digit number is recorded in the animal's name, and then we call the company. They tell us who the animal belongs to. And that
love it.
microchip cannot be removed except surgically.
Wow, I
and it
love it.
can't be altered unless it is removed.
That is super.
And all of the shelters in New Hampshire have that technology now.
Great.
It's provided by the company for no expense.
Beautiful.
But we have now in New Hampshire 1 dog, 1 llama, and 1 horse that is info-petted or chipped. As we say,
I love it.
we'd like to chip them because that
Yeah,
might
sounds
be,
a little, yeah,
might
right.
be misinterpreted
Oh, that's
as being
great.
something. So
But I
that's,
mean,
that's a
for-
new program that we have.
For less than $50, if you have a valuable animal, that is a great bargain, I think.
marvelous.
It's a wonderful bargain. That's
Because
super.
we have always relied on, and still do to a great
Right.
extent, identification tags.
Of course.
That's one of the things that we see with people not providing for their animals, is simple identification.
Right, yeah.
And it is so easy to
Just put the license
get
on.
your number on.
right, yeah.
Or a piece of masking tape,
Right,
because of the number of stray dogs that we
Right,
receive
yeah.
in from the towns.
Sure.
90% don't have tags on. And
Yeah.
we ask them, but they don't tell us who
Yeah.
they belong to.
Yeah,
So we
I'm
have
sure.
to rely on our lost and
yeah.
found system. So this
Right, yeah.
InfoPet very well may be the thing that we've been looking for.
Yeah, that's great.
So we have to spread the word on it a little bit
Yeah,
more.
good, good. Well, that's why we wanted you to talk about
It's
it
great.
here.
It's great.
I know Don Sargent, Plaistow's ACO, often joked about the dog we had. We had a Heinz 57 who lived to be 18 years old. And when he died, he had 18 dog tags on his collar.
There you go.
We had just left him right there. We could hear him, helped us find out where he was.
Yeah, it makes
you know,
quite a
we
jingle.
could hear the jingling.
Sure.
But I think that's one of the things you do stress and urge is to have your dog make sure that, number one, that they're licensed, because that's state law, but number two, that there's some kind of ID on them.
That's important. And neutering is important,
Yeah.
too.
Okay, that was my next one.
To help reduce overpopulation. And that's one of the problems that we see is, as we were talking about the economy, is that impacts on us.
Right, of course it does.
And it impacts on the public, and it impacts on our
Right,
agency,
yeah,
too. We're
yeah.
having to trim back. No, we don't have fat to begin with, but we're looking at cutting costs and saving money and raising money as part of our
Okay.
group. Our agency, the New Hampshire SPCA, along with all other SPCAs, are not government agencies. We are private, non-profit agencies, much like a church or
Yeah, okay,
some other
yeah,
charity, and we have to rely on our own initiatives to raise funds, and they come basically from the public, from $5 donations and $10 donations and
great.
things like that.
Sure.
Many people have a mistaken belief that there's like a national SPCA
no,
that gets millions and millions of dollars
Right,
and it all
yeah.
gets like a franchise trickle
right,
down. Well,
yeah.
that's really not the
Right, yeah.
case. And so what is ever donated to the Humane Society in your area,
Yeah.
in this area would be
Yeah.
the New Hampshire SPCA, is used right at that facility.
Yeah.
It's not spread further, and we don't get other funds.
Now, your office in Stratham, on 108 in Stratham, is the one that services this area?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Where's the next closest one?
The next closest to us in Stratham is the Cocheco Valley Humane Society in Dover. Very nice
Oh,
group.
really? Oh, great.
Good
Yeah.
group.
Mhm.
And there's shelters in 11 other locations in the state.
Great, yeah. 'Cause I think a lot of people figure that the SPCA that is in Methuen, they think it's in Salem and think it is a New Hampshire one, but I think they forget that it is in Mass.
Well, that's Massachusetts
Right,
SPCA.
yeah, right, yeah.
They're a big organization,
Right, yeah.
pretty well-endowed organization.
yeah.
They do a terrific job.
Yeah.
We work with them all the
Right,
time.
yeah, good.
But it's
You have
kind of
interstate agreements, that sort of thing between
We
the two
have
of you?
a lot of cooperative efforts
Mm-hmm.
between us and all of the humane societies in
Okay,
New
yeah.
England. We have a very good group called the New England Federation of Humane
Oh, okay,
Societies.
yeah, right,
And we
yeah.
work together, sharing information
Mm-hmm.
on animal cruelty cases, which is what I do particularly, and with trends on like animal populations and how we can help, and they provide us with literature, and we have training programs for our people, our staff,
Great.
from one agency to another, and it works very, very well. But the finances don't cross the state line, so we are
Oh, okay.
required to make our own.
So anything anyone wants to send to you is welcomed with open arms?
They are most welcome to help us out.
Yeah.
When we adopt an animal, we ask for an adoption fee, which covers just basically our costs involved in
Okay, feeding
making
and that sort of thing?
Not feeding,
Oh.
but vaccinations, medical care,
Okay, yeah.
the equipment that comes with the animal, the tag and the collar and the leash and the cat carrying case and all of those things.
So every animal that leaves the SPCA has been vaccinated?
Right. Against
Feline leukemia and rabies,
their
etc.?
distemper.
Distemper,
Right,
okay.
not rabies. Rabies,
Okay.
under New Hampshire law, must be given by a veterinarian.
Oh,
So
I
we
see.
don't provide
Yeah.
that. That's
Okay.
provided later by their own veterinarian. So, I think
That's
I want to say that
great.
I think we have a great
Yeah,
program in New Hampshire generally.
yeah. I think you do.
It's the way government really should work, in
Right.
that if the public wants good animal welfare programs,
yeah.
then it doesn't amount to, you know, a bureaucratic decision.
Yeah,
It can be
good.
given locally,
Beautiful.
used locally, and can be monitored locally, and we
Super.
invite people into our facility in
Excellent.
Stratham. And we have probably 1,000 visitors a week. Just come in, see what we're doing, and
Good.
pick up a newsletter.
Great.
And, you know, find out what our programs
good,
are.
Peter.
Today we're giving away free pumpkins.
Left over.
Left over from our haunted house,
Yes,
which was another fundraiser.
I know you did have a
We had a lot
haunted
of fun
house.
with that.
Well, I want to thank you, Pete, for coming down.
Sure.
I've always enjoyed working with you, and needless to say, we just may call on you again,
Well,
and,
I'll be happy to.
you know,
It's
bring
always-
down some
it's always-
critters.
We can fill up the place.
I bet you could.
Yep.
And I mean, the sort of like, now, here is this, take this gorgeous little one looking for a home. And of course, I do know that you're very careful, you screen your people that take the animals too.
We
I know
have,
that.
we
Jody
have,
explained
our
that to me.
adoption program is thorough, but not
Right.
intrusive.
Right, yeah, yeah, right. Good,
That
Pete.
we want to be sure that people are responsible
Mm-hmm.
and that they're willing to make a commitment, a lifetime commitment for the
Oh,
pet.
yeah,
That they're
sure is.
financially able to care for the animal and that they have the proper motivation to
Yeah.
do that. And we have certain background checks, safeguards, checking with landlords to be sure
Good.
that they can keep
Yeah,
it in
right,
the
yeah,
apartment where
right.
they're living and things like that. And
right,
it
yeah,
all
good.
works out very well.
Beautiful. That's
Yeah,
great, Pete.
yeah.
Thanks a million
You're
for coming
welcome.
down.
It's nice
This
to
was
be here.
very enjoyable.
Good.
Flo, you really missed a good one tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Our December show on December 5th, Sandy Britton will have a show focusing on recycling. And on December 21st, Friday, December 21st, that very jolly man in the red suit who lives at the North Pole will be here for his annual pre-Christmas visit to the children of Plaistow. I want to thank you for tuning in. Good night.